Before I go back to Jim, I just want to ask one thing, and that is we started on this talking about this. There could be an economic downturn coming. Now, the cost of living's bad as it is right now.
Sure.
Just imagine how bad it is if the unemployment rate rises from 4.1 to 5.5%. All those families, hundreds of thousands of people out of work as a result. Now, then you've got a crisis.
Yeah.
So what do you do about that? Because the cost of living is going to be out of control at this stage.
And then you need a government that has buffers, that has shock absorbers.
But you said before they were not
under Labor, they've gone. They've gone. I mean, we've got $179 billion deficits over the next 4 years. So you've got to quickly get the economy moving again. I mean, and that's the absolute key. You've got to make sure you're not spending money that doesn't need to be spent, and you focus on the things that are really going to help people's lives at a difficult time like this.
Like higher taxes.
Like 50.
You want to increase taxes on all of those workers.
If you let me finish, Jim.
And you want them to get lower wages.
Into a food bank. Like making sure that the cost of energy is going down so that we can get our energy sector where it needs to be. And that'll help with our food, our construction sector.
Went up when you were
under Labor, we've seen groceries go up by 30%. Gas, electricity, insurance, all up by over 30%. Your homegrown inflation has had this impact. There is a better way, Jim. We know how to beat inflation. We know how to beat inflation. We know how to beat inflation, and you've completely failed to achieve that.
You just literally just made those numbers up.
All right.
But no, Ross, this is important. If Angus really cared about the cost of living, he wouldn't be saying to every worker that he wants them to pay higher income taxes. He wouldn't be saying to every worker, we want you to be on lower wages. He wouldn't be saying to everyone under the pump that they will provide no ongoing help with the cost of living. And to make that worse, he won't even talk about the $600 billion he needs to find to fund these nuclear reactors. They can't find those $600 billion without cuts, including in areas like health and education like they've done before. And that's why he's had multiple opportunities to come clean tonight, and he won't do it.
So Jim Chalmers, can I ask you while we're here on cost of living, will you apologise to the people of Australia tonight for having your government having said that energy prices would come down by $275 when, in actual fact, average prices, according to the Financial Review, are at least $500 more than what they were at that time. So you said 275. Will you apologise to the people of Australia?
I take responsibility for all of the decisions that we've taken in our budget.
So you will apologise?
Including the fact that energy bills last year were $300 cheaper because of our energy rebates that Angus didn't support. Energy bills would have been higher last year if he had had his way. Now, over the weekend, the OECD said that Australia has the lowest energy inflation in the developed world.
But that's now. It's not what it's been like for the past few years.
The last year of CPI data, inflation data, says that electricity prices went down in 2024, and that's largely because of our energy bill rebates that he didn't support, but not entirely because.
But the people at home, like that, you can say that inflation's coming. That's not prices coming down. The prices are still high from where they were. You know, it might have come off a little bit, but the prices are still up there. So what I'm saying is. Yeah. Will you look down the barrel of the camera and apologise for that? Because is that something you should do? Because, again, that was a promise that was not fulfilled.
Well, the 275 figure that you're referring to from the modelling in 2021 predated two important developments. The first one was Angus intervened to hide a big price rise before the last election. We didn't know about that when we talked about that modelling. And the second thing is there's been a major land war in Eastern Europe, which has caused a global spike in energy inflation. Now, despite that, Australia now has, according to the OECD, the lowest energy inflation in the developed world. And that's because we're doing two things. Okay. We're helping people with bills now.
If I may, Jim will look for an excuse for everything. He will look for an excuse for everything. Labor promised 97 times that electricity prices would come down by $275. And the excuses are across the board. You know, it's Vladimir Putin, it's President Xi, it's Donald Trump. It's Cyclone Alfred. Yeah, he'll use them all. But the one thing he won't do is accept that people who are promised a $275 reduction in my electorate and in those areas we just heard from a moment ago are $1,300 a year worse off than was promised by Labor.
That's a made-up number two. That's a made-up number two. Ross, they're $300 better off last year on their electricity bills because of our energy rebates that you opposed.